Welcome to Streams of Income, hosted by best-selling author and entrepreneur Dr. David Powers, where we discuss streams of income, passive income, residual income, and even why there are dinosaurs and zombies in this intro. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready to dive in.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Streams of Income podcast, and we are here with the only person that's been on here multiple times, and there's a good reason for that, because he's awesome, and got some amazing advice for us. Mr. Omar from Boots and Ladders, and he has a pretty amazing business, and he'll sprinkle in some stories about that as we go, but I'll tell you what, let me just read you his official intro, because we've talked before, and if you haven't listened to the other podcasts with him, as soon as you're done with this one, go back. But this is part of a series that we're going to do here. And so let me read this intro about him, and then I'll kick it off, and we'll get into from 0 to 1, which is what he's going to talk about today. Starting a business, starting a successful life, 0 to $1. And then the rest of the series, though, is going to be awesome because we're going to keep upping that money amount. All right, so Omar Kharbat, did I pronounce your last name right?
You got it right.
Omar Kharbat is the founder of Boots and Ladders, started his career as a carpet cleaner and pivoted to more scalable models as he learned the ropes. Over the past 35 years, he's completed over 15,000 jobs, hired and trained over 500 employees, had multiple exits, and experienced the full roller coaster of unpaid gigs, missed deadlines, lost customers, lawsuits, and even going broke. But in his words, you only need to be right once to succeed. I like that. That's pretty good.
Good morning, David. Thanks for the intro.
And those other ones, man, if they haven't seen the other podcasts, especially the video version of you in the garage, all those nice toys that you have in there, they need to watch those.
As I said before we started, it got very hot and muggy for me to be in the garage this summer, and we have big mosquitoes here in Wilmington, North Carolina. So I decided to just move in my office for those 2-3 months that I'm going to get back in the garage again.
Sounds good. And so we talked before in some of the other podcasts about scaling, life, businesses, everything. And so, you thought it was a good idea. We need to take it back down to just beginning, how to start out. And we're kind of trying a different format here with some interview stuff. So I'll ask you some questions and try to keep you on track, with me being on track too, not chasing squirrels like I tend to.
True. I realize the hardest thing is to start. And I think that's where we should be focused on. Even if they're in a later stage and they kind of got stuck and they can't move or grow or get ahead in their service business, it's always a good idea to go back to the basics and just kind of see where they sidetracked and they took the wrong turn. So basically from 0 to $1 is the very, very basic. Let's just take everybody back before they even started their business and how they got into the first job. And everybody have a very interesting story when you ask them on how did you get your first job. And it's usually a relative or a friend or somebody that they knew. But before, even if you take that one step, even before that, like this is for the high school kids. This is somebody who've never done, they're still deciding whether they're going to go to college or they want to do work a job or get trained for some skilled work. And they're still deciding what they really want to do. There's great community colleges around and 75% of those who went to college and graduated from college were mismatched with their jobs. So that's a huge percentage for somebody to go for 4 years. Of course, they're going to learn a lot. Of course, they're going to come out better person than when they went in. But, kind of studying for 4 years, spending all this time on a mismatched career, I feel like this is very important time in someone's life, and they need to really pay full attention into that very, very, very first stage in their life. That's a big decisions to make. And I'll just be honest with you. All my kids went to college. And with all my coaching, with everything that I knew, I could not help them find their niche before they went to college. And everybody choosing a path that they have to pivot and switch later in life. After they graduate bachelor degree, they decided it's like, oh, well, I want to do a master's degree in PA. The other one decided to do courses on UX design. And now my son, who's an industrial engineer, who's smart enough to pivot early on from civil engineering, he said, this is not for me. Don't see myself doing this. And he decided to pivot. And he mainly pivoted to industrial engineering because he loves business. And that career kind of gave him a mix between engineering and business at the same time, except he gets to tell people what to do, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, and the stuff you're talking about, it's good for not just for startups, because every now and then I find that I get bogged down in all the just everything builds and builds, and sometimes I need to take a look at my business from this same point of view. Like, what if I was starting over? Would I do this again? And it helps me streamline it sometimes.
True, and I did those notes for myself as well because I'm constantly what's next and what's the next business. I did exit 3 businesses in the past, and every business that I started was another mystery that I'm trying to figure out. And I wish I kept some notes on how to go about it. And especially now with the rise of AI, I mean, you need just one tool. If you just go and talk to ChatGPT and say, "Give me a business business model, or give me a business proposal, or value proposition of my customers, or what problem I need to solve," it would be a lot of help just chatting with the AI, because you're chatting with hundreds of thousands of experts. You're not just chatting with one machine. So things have changed and came a long way now.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you had a graphic on this sheet, and you had a bunch of negative things on there, like sued, which is circled real big letters because that's a huge one. Broke, accused. Can you tell us a couple stories from that we should avoid, maybe?
Pick anything in that image. I don't know if your editor is going to be able to upload it, but pick anything there, and I'll tell you a story. In my 35 years, I have encountered a lot of this, and this is the experience that you get from running a business. Your employee quit on you, and the next day he's your competition. I mean, that's a story everybody probably would share. How to avoid it and how to do all that stuff. We probably need a separate episode for that. Sued. We've been coaching our technicians to turn the fan on after they're done cleaning a room, carpet cleaning a room, to dry quicker. For many years, we've been doing this. Then suddenly, one flick of a switch turned a fan that wasn't installed correctly. It wobbled and fell on the bed, and the woman sued us for $4,000. And in court, I had to explain to the judge that I did not install the ceiling fan. And he was very reasonable with me, and he said, "Yes, but your guys turned the switch on. So we caused the damage. It wasn't the ceiling, So without us turning that switch on, the ceiling fan would not have wobbled and fall down." So we end up paying for that lawsuit, and many stories that we bought advertisement that didn't work. We've been lied to. It's crazy with all the stuff that one day we can pick stuff from here and just and go in depth with it. But I think not to sidetrack, and please help me not to sidetrack today. Let's focus on how to get from 0 to 1. I think that's what everybody else.
All right. Sounds good. And I guess the lesson to learn from that, the bad stuff, is that you can do everything right, and sometimes things will still go wrong.
Yeah, I mean the most expert people will tell you that they're still making mistakes, even though they have a lot of experience not to do mistakes anymore. But we still do it.
All right. So this first question here, for high school grads or veterans transitioning to civilian life, what's your advice on getting started?
Very good. The easiest thing to do is find somebody doing something and then just go and do it. That if you see a lot of demand on landscaping or heating and air conditioning, or there's also like restaurants, and if you see demand on bagels, you don't want to go start another pub and the bagels that's in demand. So you want to do something that's already in demand. Landscaping is in great demand. It's always growing. There's always more and more demand for landscaping. There's more demand for plumbing, for the heating and air conditioning. But if you want to do this, you better do it better than the other 1,000 people that's doing it in your area. Like Mark Cuban said, you don't want to be the 1,001 company.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be doing it better in one way or another. You have to be better. So we'll talk about those skills later. Now, if you want to be creative, if you want to come up with a new idea, and if this is your first business, you're calling for trouble. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be able to make it. Like even the inventors of Google's, they had some experience before they realized there is a problem and they decided to fix it. And again, the best way to be creative is to look for problems and to find a problem that you would like to solve and start working on that. This is an advice that I give for my kids. It's like, always look for problems that you want to solve. And I'll give you an example for this. I manage commercial properties. And there is, in one of the properties that we have, it has 3 American flags. And those 3 American flags, every 6 months, they start to get deteriorated from the rain and the storms that we have. It's in Carolina Beach, so we do get very strong winds. And there is this company here in town, Star Flags. That's what it's called. And when I call Chad, he will come in and he will replace them. And now he had me automatically every 6 months. He comes and replaces those flags. He got a left truck that probably cost him $40,000. Not a brand new truck. He had that boom truck that nobody else had. And for him, swapping a flag is much easier and better than me going up on the roof trying to do it. And on top of this, he buy high quality flags that they last 6 months, where I tried to do it in the past, and the flags that I buy online, they won't last 2 or 3 months. So Chad came with this niche where he loves flags. That's all he does. He replaces flags every day. And commercial properties, they have small flags, they have big flags, they have humongous flags. I mean, so basically he just got specialized in the flags, and he saw there is a problem, and he's working. And this guy, I mean, I've been dealing with him for the past 20 years. He's the same guy, same truck, doing the same thing. I love it. So he did find a problem, and he got specialized. And so there's a lot of problems like this. He'll be walking around. There's a friend of mine who's doing trash cans now, picking up and putting them back for a whole entire neighborhood. So that's another problems that need solving. It maybe trash cans and everybody looks down at it, but no, it's a problem for people. If you're in high school, keep your eyes open. Hear what they say at the house. If your mom complaining about somebody can't find somebody to hang a ceiling fan, or she can't find somebody to replace a garbage disposal, or find someone to replace a kitchen sink, those are big problems, and they go bad once every 10 years. And you need somebody to know how to do those small jobs. If you were to call a handyman service that has employees and high expense and overhead, they would probably have to come and charge you time and material and service call, and it would probably be $400 or $500 before they leave. So yeah, those are the problems that still need to be solved, and there's a huge demand. So keep an eye for those problems, and it might as well just do something you love. If you love changing faucets, or if you like cutting grass, or if you like making bagels, I mean, just find something that you like. So when you grow into this.
Yeah. You know what I've seen around a lot lately, more and more, is guys that pick up dog poop.
Yeah, of course. I saw that. Yeah, they hired somebody in our neighborhood that does it. And yeah, I mean, it solved the problem. I don't have a dog, but it did solve a problem for the neighborhood. We no longer step on, stuff in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So you talked a little bit about niches and things like that. So how do you avoid trial and error when picking a niche? Because a lot of people are probably afraid of that, and you know how people get afraid of something or anxious, and then they just never do it.
Okay, so the safest way to do this is to find the highest demand in your area. If for example, the heating and air. Okay, there is a huge demand in the summertime, but in the wintertime, their business slows down and it's hard for them to keep employees throughout this thing. Same thing with roofers. They have a huge demand during the storms. And then when there's no storms, they start to lose the system that they have built. But there's things that constant and it's 12 months a year. And if you need to find the businesses that have a huge demand and go for that. And I think if I were to pick a good model service business, I would probably mix it up. I'll make 9 offers, and I'll make some of those are winter targeted offers and summer targeted offer. In my previous business, the Sanos team, we used to offer a lot of carpet cleaning, and that was like probably 9 months out of the year. But then in the wintertime, it slows down and the heat kicks on and people start to get sick because of their nasals start to dry out and the viruses start to germinate in their sinuses, and that's when they wanted their air duct cleaned. So so we offered the air duct cleaning in the wintertime, and that kind of balanced things out. So you need to find what's in demand, and you can go and search up platforms and see what people are offering, and that's something we did at Boots and Ladders is we're going to reveal those numbers to our users and tell them, hey, you're offering this, but maybe you want to consider that in your area. That's what people are actually searching for. So that's one way we can help with the platform. And then from your experiences, especially with the jobs that you have now, I really suggest everybody just as soon as you're done with high school or before even, try to get jobs, small jobs. Don't stay in a job 5, 6, 7 years. Just get small jobs. This way you get to learn about car detailing if you're working in a car wash, or if you're in a restaurant, you get to understand restaurants and how they run. I mean, there's a grease trap in the restaurant that need to be maintained. There's a lot of money in hood cleaning. Very, very tough job, very dirty job. But again, the money is good for someone who needs the money a lot more than his comfort, I guess. And so basically, and then from all those experiences, they're going to be able to connect the dots. It's like, hey, I know we needed this service in restaurants where we need to clean hood system with pressure and nasty things, but I've been using this material in car detailing, and it can emulsify this grease without us having to use a pressure washer. So putting the two together might kind of connect the dots. And suddenly now I can go and offer a restaurant to clean their hood system for half the price. And I'm just going to use low pressure, soft cleaning, whatever, name you want to name it. And now suddenly you're offering this new service that's much better and bring better results with better value and so on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, sounds good. Sounds good. And one thing I've heard people talk about too before is like you could go into your competitors' Google and some of that and see what their bad reviews are, and that exposes a problem that you might be the person to solve or do it better.
Absolutely, exactly. And if you offer any of the existing services, if you offer it better, if you're faster, if you're more reliable, you can step up your bases and become first in line at some point. I wasn't the first carpet cleaner in Wilmington, and there's two other companies before me who had truck mounted units. But I got very good at responding right away. So my biggest ad in the Yellow Pages says 24-hour immediate response. Mm-hmm. So when someone was pulling up the Yellow Pages, even though my ad was half the size of my competition's ad, that ad said 24-hour immediate response and much bigger than any of their texts. So I was like, my ad stood out more because that's all I needed: 24 hours immediate response and the phone number, and that's that. And that's how I was able to get a county schools account. I got the colleges, a lot of the apartment complexes. My slogan was 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. I was new immigrant and English wasn't my thing, but that was the slogan that I was able to nail. I was like, I'll be there in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. So that worked out good.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So, we know a lot of people that can do the things, very technician oriented, no problem doing the actual hands-on stuff. But one of the fear points for a lot of people is getting that first job. So what would you recommend for how to do that?
Always start with relatives or friends who's not going to take you to court, because chances are you're going to mess it up. So in my case, I rented a carpet cleaning machine and I cleaned the apartment at my house. Did I do it right? No. Maybe it took another day or two to dry, because you know how to clean, but you don't know how to dry carpets, and that's the big no. You need to clean and dry. You don't want to just clean it. So basically, on that job, on the good side is I was able to take pictures for before and after. I was able to take pictures of myself with the wand, doing the job. I was kind of like trying to demo things, and that was back in 1989, where photos in the ad pack didn't look really that cool. It's the black and white. Yeah. They were just dingy and bad, but that's actually helped. So basically, first you start with your own house or with your relative, sister, somebody, and then also it's another demonstration that you can show people. If you cut grass, you better make your yard immaculate, because that's your display. You can be winning awards. Now you're no longer a landscaper, you're a gardener. you can charge a lot more money. So you start first with your friend. Almost everybody I spoke with started out with their friends or with their, so that's the common thing. You don't want to start right away with a customer that you're charging money.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. And so after that first job, or first couple of jobs for family that won't sue you, hopefully, how did you get things turning from there?
Whoa, we have to be specific on that question.
Just a couple of tips, because maybe some things that worked for you, or things that really didn't work you wouldn't recommend.
So when I realized I can provide value, I have a truck mounted machine. I have something to offer. I realized at the time that there is a demand. But I need to find where the demand is. Another time, we didn't have search engines, we did not have AI, we didn't have any of that stuff. So I just hit the street and I start knocking on Chinese restaurants, motels, apartment complexes. And of course, in sales, you're gonna get 50 no's before you get a yes. But every no gets you one step closer to a yes. So you're just gonna have to be out there. And the one thing that helped me out the most, I wasn't selling when I was there. I was like, I would like to show you what my machine can do. And a lot of people, they reject you over and over. But I remember this one guy who used to manage a Western Sizzling, who kind of turned me down so many times. But one day is like, I just I just want to come out here after your business hours and clean this one area for you, the worst area you have in front of the kitchen. I'm not charging you anything. I just want to try my machine out and see what you're how doing your carpet. So the next day, I think his carpet cleaner dropped the ball on him, right
Oh,
after I was there offering my free service, and he called me. He's like, "All right, why don't you come in and show us what you do?" And I went there and I heated the machine. I had a steamer and I had the cleaner. I mean, it was just a tiny area that I want to show him, but oh my God, I made sure that thing looks brand new. And the next day he called me and he gave me the job. It was $180 every month for a long, long, long time. And I remember that account. Western Sizzling went out of business before I did. So
yeah, yeah, they did. I
I don't
remember
know if they're
Western
still in
Sizzle.
business or not. That store shut down, and my company lasted longer. So that that. But yeah, that's the first job I got. It was very great. When I cleaned it the first time, I got some friends to help me out because it was such a big job for me, and that was the nicest $180 I've ever made in my life. I mean, that check looked so good.
Yeah,
And yeah, so basically, you just want to get out. Like back then, we used to go out on the street looking for jobs, and then I got on a tail, and then after that, we start. I learned how to advertise in the ad pack, and there's another story for that, and how I hated to sell. I don't like to go to customer house to sell things, so I decided to just do a flat rate, say $100, I'll come clean your house. And oh boy, that took off. I started getting 2, 3 calls a day from that because people at the time turned out that they were sick and tired of salespeople coming to their homes trying to sell them deodorizer, Teflon carpet protector, all that stuff that they used to come to the house trying to sell. And it's the guys at work and the housewife, she's home taking care of her house and she wants the carpet done. So kind of like she's
yeah,
charged with that job. And those guys used to go measure every room, walk all over the house and try and sell it. So I just said, regardless of the size, I'm going to charge a flat rate of $100. And with this $100, some houses were a bit larger, some houses were a bit smaller. 80% of the time, it worked out great. So the other 20%, it's either more or less. But when it was more, it was advertising for me.
yeah,
I was using my time. I had plenty of time. I had a lot of time. And I was using my time instead of using my money to advertise. So basically just being out there and thrilling the heck out of those people with large houses, that got the word of mouth to go around. And
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you're inside the big house cleaning, and meanwhile, your big rolling advertisement is sitting right on the street in front or in the driveway, and all the neighbors wondering what's going on.
yes, yes, if it doesn't leak oil though. But
Oh, that's why when I worked for my dad's construction company, I never would park in the driveway, always in the street, because I never wanted to run that risk.
80% of those trucks leak oil. It's terrible. It's terrible. But I used to use a cardboard most of the time, and then later I start buying new trucks and or leasing new trucks. Let's put it this way. But that's in the third episode from this, so we're not going to talk about that now. Yeah. So basically, nowadays I would do it different. If in today's age, I would start with the photos. Just after you find your niche, find out what you want to do. Take good photos. If you have a ranch, and if you're actually showing the people how you're performing, Google can take that image and add it to the search keywords. So those are tags. So you have to pay attention. I have a lot of the guys on the boots and ladders. They stand. They show their tools or they're showing a thumbs up. Those are the guys that gets the clicks. The guy who goes and shows his company logo, nobody cares. People buy from people. They're not buying from logos.
Yeah.
So spending all this time on a logo and that does not. It's you who is the face of the company. No matter how big it gets, Steve Jobs was
Yeah.
still the face of Apple. So basically, you need this person that that pledge to perform the service for you, and this is the guy you want to buy from. And this is the 75% of our screening is based on if this guy showed up himself or he did not show up. If you're not showing up yourself,
Yeah.
you're not confident. So basically, you have to show your face. So basically, the photo, you start with the photo, then go do a little research on your keywords. Now, your keywords might not be what you think they are. If you're offering plumbing service, people are not searching for plumbing service.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to be searching for water heater replacement, or they're going to be searching for faucet or a plumber near me, or whatever the search term.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to pay attention to, and AI made it much easier now to go and say, give me keywords, and you need to learn. If you want to learn one thing, if you want to take a course today in today's age, I would highly recommend take a course in prompt engineering.
Oh, I'm in a course right now that I do in the afternoons, and that's what I was learning yesterday, how to do prompt engineering.
This is the greatest thing you can learn in today's age.
Yeah.
If you learn that, you're automatically PhD in any subject. Just learning how to prompt the AI. That's the one thing. It's such a great. And now all the tools are available. You can go build your own website. You can go build your own little programs. I mean, we can go on and on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And since we homeschool, I've been passing it down to my kids too, because we homeschool, and so I let them use ChatGPT in a limited role to help do things, and I've been teaching them how to do the prompts, and it's amazing what it opens up.
Absolutely, it's great, it's wonderful, and more and more people learning about this. It's just so the keyword, you just research for good keywords for your business, and then after that, you want to go and list in every free directory, starting with Google Places. Now that you have keywords and you have photos, you just need to write something about, have the GPT write it for you, a description of your business, title, something very nice, SEO friendly. And you just start listing in the free directory. Google Places, Nextdoor is very important, Facebook page, Instagram is visual. People like to see pictures. And the most important thing, do not fall victim for those social media. You don't want to be the guy that's spending hours and hours trying to get results. I can tell you right now, you're not going to get any results. Just have your listing there, so when people are searching for you, they can find you. But don't go spend all this time trying to promote. It just does not pay off. You can work a whole year doing that, and you might get 1, 2, 3 clicks, and it's not worth it. That's not how you build your business. Service is intangible. It's unforeseen results. Nobody knows what they're getting. It's not a product. So in person, still king. So because it's service. So your biggest tool, believe it or not, and it's still proven that word of mouth is still the king of generating new businesses.
Yeah.
It's 74% compared to Google, is 10% compared to everything else. So people's like, oh, well, Google gets me this calls. Yes, but business that's growing, that has the wheel turning, they're not just depending on Google leads. Those are 10% of the calls that you get every day. 74% of what you're getting is compound customers. They're compounding. And if you were to do a very simple math on the compounding factor, you would know where is that coming from. If each happy customer gets you 2 other customers.
Mm-hmm.
And to the power of 10 years, it will equal to 1,024. So one customer becomes 1,024 in 10 years. So
Yeah.
if you thrill every customer you're dealing with, it's compounding faster than the stock market.
Yeah.
And so that's your that's where you want to focus your effort. If you have one customer, make sure they're happy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I've actually yesterday I heard a guy, the lead product manager, I think for Tesla, who they were like they're not spending a whole lot of money on marketing, believe it or not, and they sold out always before and all that stuff. And the way they did it, they had their mission is to be the talk at the dinner table.
Okay.
So when you're at the dinner table to talk about, it's like, oh, well, my friend got this Tesla and he called the service department and they came to his house and bought his groceries for him, or, so, and he went on and on about stories of things they did to thrill customers.
Yeah.
And when they open up the booking for the orders for the 3 model, they were sold out. And that's one way they did it, is with word of mouth. They were thrilling people. It's cheaper for them to thrill people than to go and buy advertisements.
Oh, yeah. I was reading in a construction magazine the other day about, they were talking about cost per leads and how it's going up. And they were talking like $600-700 for typical lead cost. And you don't spend all that if you're doing more word of mouth, more referrals. I mean, they're talking about advertising and all that mess that's not face to face and everything,
and it's crazy. And the sad thing, all those leads being bought by companies that's funded that does not necessarily have skilled workers.
Yeah.
The way they bought the advertisement, they were able to buy their employees and train them, but those guys are not real plumbers and they're not real heating and air guys and they're not skilled people. So that's the sad. It's just not like that's what Angie's List and Home Advisors did. They're selling leads, and whoever can buy the leads can get the job.
Yeah. And man, with my dad's construction business, we went into that rabbit hole at one time, and it was a big waste of money and wasted so much time as well.
Yeah. So back to the most important thing is the word of mouth and how very important it is. So that's why your opportunity is where you're actually at the job site doing the work, and you want to make it your mission to thrill every customer with on-time service and outstanding results. That's been my mission. That should be everybody's mission, I think. If you have a way to create your own mission statement, just stick with it. And I think on-time service and outstanding results is what the customer's actually expecting from you. And anything less than that, they're just not getting the value for their money. And if they did get the value, believe me, they will talk.
Oh, yeah.
They will say something. And whether it's an online review or saying something on their social media, or if they're just talking to a friend, let them do the talk for you instead of you going blogging on social media, spending all these hours. I have a brother in the heating and air business who does not know what online is. And yet he get all his recommendations from Nextdoor and from the Boots and Ladders and from like that. So so basically that's the word of mouth.
So you're getting these leads, you're talking to people, somebody that's new in a business, how do they go about pricing the services? I mean, other than just looking at the competition and saying, I'm going to do it $5 cheaper than that guy.
Okay, I forgot to mention something before we jump into pricing. I've said about how I would do it online in today's age, but there is something that's very, very important. And that's where the big account come from. If you want to have big accounts, if you want to be serving big commercial buildings, if you want to go into hospitals, college, universities, schools, that does not happen online. Most of these happen in person. And when you walk to those places asking for the superintendent, for the maintenance guys, or for somebody, custodials. I mean, you want to find the guy that you want to talk to, the operation guys, and you don't want to go empty-handed. You want to dress up decent, just so they can talk to you. You want to be as polite as you can because they're stopping their work to listen to what you have to say.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure you know what you're going to say. I mean, someone like me, I used to freeze and forget all the words, and I don't know what to say. And then I have to train myself to say my mission statement. It turned out I need an elevator pitch, and I have to say, "Hey, my name is Omar. I'm the founder of Boots and Ladders, and I offer help for service, professionals to productize their services." So basically, and you keep practicing until you nail your elevator pitch. So when you talk to those guys, you need to hand them out your folder, and this way you leave something physical behind. And if they ever need you, they can reach out to your folders. And what's really important is what's in that folder. I will do a one-page profile, maybe an image for yourself. Just like we talked about online. I don't know if your person can upload some of those examples that we have for online profiles, but you could use something very similar to that on your front page. It would be very nice if you have some testimonials followed by your image and what you do, and your mission statement also on that front page, and how to reach you. Maybe a QR code would make it easy to email you. Or a phone number, easy, straightforward, easy to remember phone number, or a QR code that goes straight to your email, or, why take them to the website and to the email? Just take them straight to the email because that profile already said everything you wanted to say. I will include in that profile a W-9, and also very important that you include information about your general liability.
Okay, yeah.
So
that's important to a lot of people.
Yes, and that makes a difference in the price too. You want to charge. I have two bids from these guys. One guy is $500. One guy is $1,000.
Yeah.
But that with $1,000 already showed me that you can write it off. Here's my W-9, and here's my insurance in case I fall off the roof. My family is not gonna come and sue you.
Yeah.
And it's usually the family friend who's going to get an attorney that's friend of his that's going to come and sue you. So even if you know the guy really well, you might get sued. So if you have that profile, if you have that folder ready to go, I used to have a magnet there as well before QR codes, and that magnet will go on the file cabinet, but it might still work. Nice magnet, QR code, that would be great. And I used to hand it out to the people. I used to go to property management, community management, homeowner association, apartment complexes, hotels, county schools. I made a list of the largest buildings in town, and I went for those. And I always have those folders in my. Every chance I get, I'm gonna hand it down. So. So basically, you have to just continue to learn and continue to master, and you have to sharpen your offers. That's very much what it's about. What are you offering? And don't make a big menu. If you open a restaurant, don't go so big in your menu. I mean that's not. Just offer 4 or 5 different services up to 9. Don't go more than that because then you're going to be just running around, not getting anywhere. Very cool. Okay, so ask me, your other question was about pricing.
Pricing. Most people that are new to something, they're not going to know anything about pricing other than, what does the other guy charge?
And this is something I've learned recently, only when I start working on Boots and Ladders. It turned out that people does not know how to buy service. They just don't know how to buy service. They don't know what to ask for. They don't know how to. Yeah. If anybody calls you, if you own a service business, the first questions they ask is how much. And the reason is because they don't know what else to ask.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like. They're not going to ask about the technical stuff. They have no idea what it is. And you know what's worse is service professionals, the skilled workers, the guys that knows how to fix it. They don't know how to offer their service or how to price their service. The good guys, the skilled guy. I had a guy in metal buildings, and he's working for somebody who wants to start his own business. And he came to me and he's like, okay, so how much you're paying me for this? I'm like, you're the professional. You need to tell me how much you want to charge. So basically pricing is very important. To make this simple and straightforward, there's 3 ways service professionals price their stuff. The one and most common one and the biggest mistake they do is they price it based on what is it worth to the customer. What is it worth to the customer? It's like, this guy's rich. He's in this neighborhood. Probably you'll be fine with this, and that's wrong. Because what would that do? Your customers will start to hide their Rolls Royce, and then they don't want to show you their asset, and then they don't want to call you again because you don't have standard or system for your pricing. So they're not going to deal with you. Whether it's slow price or high price, they don't want to deal with you. If it's slow price, that means you made a mistake and you're going to come crying for them halfway through the job, wanting more money. And if they don't give you more money, you're going to start cutting corners and you're going to give them a very terrible results that they have to go and hire another guy and do it again. And this happens all the time.
And that never works out. It just always goes bad for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the second wrong way of pricing things is on how much money I need. The professional is like, I need to pay my rent. I need to pay my truck payment. I have insurance coming up. I need $2,000, and that's what I'm going to charge for this job. And that's another wrong way to do it because you either come too short, too high, and you didn't think far ahead in advance to see what could go wrong. The best way to grow and the best way to start your business and grow from there and never change that method is the cost plus method. So whatever the job is costing you, and you add to that your profits. Okay. Now, when you're a one-man show, you count your materials, your labor, the cleanup or the dump fee. After that, that's your cost. Then after that, you need to add a line item for your overhead because your truck is getting depreciated. It's going to get old. You're going to need a new one in 5 years. You're going to need gas. You need insurance for this truck, tires, wear and tear. You need liability insurance for yourself. All that stuff adds up to probably 10, 15%. So you need to put a line item in every estimate for overhead, and people respect that, and they'll honor it. It's actually,
and that's what keeps you in business, so you can come back and do the job again.
True, and this is common in insurance claims. If you look at any insurance adjusters Xactimate pricing, you see there's an overhead there. And the most important thing, this whole thing, the reason you're doing this is profit. You have not paid yourself so far. If you have employees, you need to put a line item for their wages in there. And then on top of all of this, you give yourself a percentage for profit. It could be 10%, it could be 15%. I made a deal with a guy that built one of my commercial buildings on 15%. Regardless if he gets the subs or me get the subs, as long as he supervises it from A to Z, under his general liability, under his insurance, I was paying him 15% on top of anything. And that was the smoothest job I've done with somebody. It was very complicated. We went through mistakes, and we end up completing a project north of $1 million with no hiccups just because of that pricing system. And he was transparent. He was showing me his invoices. No issues whatsoever. I was able to get the storefronts cheaper than he was able to. and then that part was on me, but he supervised it. He made sure no leaks and all that stuff, so he got 15% on that. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one very good way to pricing. So remember, with pricing, it's cost plus is the safest way, and you can grow with that. And what I mean by that is each year we have the CPI, the inflation,
Mm-hmm.
the consumer. I know what CPI is. Consumer.
Is it product index?
Exactly. And it goes up 1.5%, 2%. So based on that, you want to keep your pricing going up. You don't want to fall behind. Believe it or not, a lot of the businesses are hurt and they shut their doors because they're not going up in their pricing.
Yeah.
I've seen it during the COVID. Everything went up, the eggs went up, everything went up, and this lady was not able to charge more for her bagels.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why you can't charge more? I mean, you're giving your eggs for free, you're giving your work for free, and she ended up selling the store. So, but yeah, that's very important that you need to constantly. When I find myself like this, if you go up 10%, it's not going to. It's not a risk move. I'll tell you why. You might end up even making more money when you go up 10%, and because when you go up 10%, say you lost 10% of your customers, okay, you're not only losing them. Those are the customer most likely that you didn't want anyway.
Yep. The cheapskates.
Right. And then on top of that, you're cutting down your expenses to 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And when you went up in your price 10% from the reminder 90% now, you're making 100,000 instead of a 90,000. And from the 100,000 you're saving in your expenses, so your upside is more when you go up in the price. But I don't suggest somebody go way more than 10% a year. And with what happened in the past 5 years, I would have probably, if I was in the service business, I would have probably went 10% every year. And this way you keep your customers. You're not going to lose them over 10%.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they're seeing everything else go up anyway. I mean, they're paying more for gas, more for groceries, but they want to lowball. They're not always going to be like that
because they don't know what else to ask. If you tell them, okay, based on the price that you wanted to do this with, I'll be able to offer you 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5. You know, if you want 5, that would be an extra this much, and we can do it later whenever you have the money for it. But it always breaks it down when you itemize what you're doing for them. It's like, and they want a lowball. It's like, okay, which one of these items you don't want? We don't have to paint the trim. We can just do the wall.
Yeah.
So and being firm is respectful. I respect the guys that's firm. They got their price done right, and that's it. The reason they bargain because they're not sure if you're trying. If you're not accurate, they try to test you. But if they know you're sure about your price, some of those guys, they're experienced too. They know what prices, and they've gotten a couple of other pricing from different guys. But if they got a very cheap price from you, most likely they're not going to do it because they know they're going to run into a problem.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I was doing estimating, I liked being either in the middle of the other estimates or the highest guy.
I would go with the cost plus pricing. This way, I'm making money on every job.
Yep.
So I'm not losing in any job. That's it. If it's cost plus, it's cost plus. If halfway through, and a lot of the jobs halfway through they add something else, or they want more.
Yeah.
And that's when there's something called change order. They'll say, I'll be glad to do a change order for you, and let me just figure that amount, and I'll send it to you later today.
Yep.
Always be prepared to sell because that's protection. Okay, cool.
Yep. So as we start wrapping this one up, if you could go into a little bit why businesses fail, and then what I want to finish up with though is, we haven't talked much about boots and ladders, and since you're giving us your time, I want you to throw a little bit in there about how you fixed a lot of these problems and helped a lot of service providers with what your business does.
Cool. All right. So reason behind business fails. One, their offer is no longer in demand. We were cleaning carpets. There's less carpet now than it was before. We need to pivot. We need to do duct cleaning. And there's even more money in ULV fog during the pandemic. We were, germiciding and fogging antimicrobials is a big thing. So you always need to find what's in demand. And businesses are failing because they're not keeping up with what is it exactly they need to. Or they always have to keep an eye on the offer. And again, Boots and Ladder helps with that. If you go to Boots and Ladder, see what others are offering, you might be able to get some hints of what or some ideas of what the others are doing. And we don't have it yet where we have numbers on demands like Uber did. We're small, we're starting out, we're behind, but that would be a very good feature to add for everybody in the future. The second thing is your pricing is wrong. You're either cheap or you're more expensive, and it's okay to be expensive, but you have to have a foundation. Why you're expensive? Where's the line items? Where you're probably estimating wrong. You need to figure out how you're estimating, and just go ask JBT or watch a video on how to price a service with a cost plus pricing. And you can even give the measurement nowadays, and they will help you out pricing something. So literally, you have Xactimate right there in front of you that you can do. Say this is a good prompt. Estimate Xactimate style a 12 by 12 room to paint the ceiling and the walls. End of the story. That's a good prompt for you. Actually, we should start working on prompts and helping people.
Oh man. Well, that course I did yesterday, there was even a section on how to monetize prompts, like creating good prompts and selling them.
Ooh. Oh, that'd be great. I mean, I wish English was my first language. It wasn't my native language, so that's one thing I want to learn more and be better at is English. That's going to be. Although I can carry on a conversation with dual languages with ChatGPT, I can go back and forth between Arabic and English with the voice, and it does perfect as well too. So. But for programming, English probably is the better way to explain things.
Yeah.
So 3 is those businesses are not reaching out. They're sitting home waiting for the phone to ring, and people does not have no idea who you are. What do you do? So you at least have your public free directories, listings, Google, Facebook, and just somewhere where someone's searching for a ceiling fan to be removed and replaced. You show up. And again, I mean, that's what we're doing with Boots and Ladders for those micro keywords. They're not the main keywords. If you're looking for a plumber, most likely Google will show up first. But if you're looking for replacing water heater, we're trying to rank first because that's a keyword that nobody's using. Yeah. This is offers that we have, and we're optimizing every page to rank on the Google and on the AI search engines now, which is
okay.
So yeah. And number 4 is they're probably buying things they don't need. You're going to use that tractor for one time. Why buy it? Just lease it out, rent it out. I need some left or something. There are people that are just in the service business to buy tools.
Yeah.
And they're looking for any reason to go to Lowe's and buy more tools. So they have every tool you can think of. It's in their shop. And when they needed something, they'll have to stop working and go get it from their shop and come back. Well, Home Depot is closer to me than my shop. I can go to Home Depot and buy one when I need it, or rent it, or lease it, or So don't spend your money on all that stuff. And the one reason businesses fail is their personalities suck. They have no chivalry. And that word I had to go look up because I was trying to find what's nahwa in English, and I couldn't find a very used word. And this turned out there is a word, but people haven't used it in a long time. And chivalry, Yeah, and you probably define the word better than I would. It's to honor something, I guess. It's to stand behind something. It's to be generous, or
Hmm.
uh, I don't know, honest, truthful. It's a combination of a lot of things. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so you
Kind of the
guys,
opposite of that is what people think of with like a used car salesman.
yeah, cheap, yeah, cheap, yeah, exactly, yeah. So if you guys can just search that up, Chivalry, Chivally. It's a very nice character for somebody to start improving himself towards that. And Boots and Ladders cannot help you with this. No one can. You probably have to be raised by a farmer or somebody to know that meaning, So, yeah. The biggest thing Boots and Ladders is doing actually is everything that we talked about is systemized. It's a step-by-step forum where you go in 3 minutes, you already have the listing, and you
Yeah.
have the so we did pre-generated offers for popular offers that there you can just pick one and offer it. Um, and then there's a place for you to add your certifications if you have any, or to add your insurance, or so that's your kind of online profile. And one thing that would be cool is just to share that profile throughout your social media, your website, everywhere. We're kind of like a Shopify, but for service. and
Yeah.
and where you open, you do your store on the Boots and Ladders, and then share it with everybody, and start getting booked. It doesn't cost anything for your customer to book you through the platform. So all the tools, instead of just going and grabbing tools, different tools to put on your website, now you have the online store that also, it's a marketplace. So if somebody nearby looking up a plumber, heating and air, or something like that, you pop up.
Hmm.
So Boots and Ladders, as soon as you open the homepage, you'll understand exactly what's going on. So that's it.
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. And so that's kind of a wrap for this episode. But now that we've gone from 0 to 1, the next episode we're going to be hitting that I hope everybody will tune in for is the 1 to 100K. That's a full time business. Turning these side hustles, turning these these gigs that you're trying out, maybe a niche you're experimenting with, making a full fledged business out of it that can support you, a family, send your kids to college, or whatever
Yes.
it is you need to do. Yep. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. And like I said, be sure to check out the next episode. Should be coming out in the next week or two. And, that way we'll get you into a full time business. Hey, so before I let you go, I just wanted to mention real quick, this podcast is sponsored by Lowe's. I'm a partner now in their influencer program. And so in part, they're sponsoring this podcast. So there's going to be some really cool things coming down the pipeline with projects that they're helping with, some DIY stuff here on the farm. So keep an eye out in my socials for that. It's going to be really cool. And check in the show notes and also in the links on all my social medias. And you'll have a link where you can get to my Lowe's storefront. And so I'm really excited about this partnership. Wanted to let all of you know about it. Take care.